Step 1. Let go of your past baggage. Life is a message. Listen to it. Life is a belief. Trust it. Life is a gift. Accept it. Life is love. Think about it. Life is an adventure. Dare it. Northern Sotho proverb from South Africa. I have counseled a number of clients, women and men, who have struggled with past baggage and how to let go for many years. Because many of them have not had any outlets to let out their anger and frustrations, it has been especially difficult for them to express themselves and to articulate their needs at home, school, and in their relationships. When you're carrying baggage that is past hurts or disappointments, you live a life fearing rejection. You're afraid to speak up for what you want. One lady said to me, "I thought if I do only good and not go against his wishes, he would not leave me. If I said yes to everything he said, there would have been no fights, no breakup." She was wrong. There were fights, and there was a breakup. It takes that one day to wake up and realize that you have no idea who you are, realizing you have lived your life for other people and not for you. My mother lived that life for 45 years. She was married to my father, who, after 21 years of perceived blissfulness, decided to marry a second and third wife within a short period of time. My mother stayed because, as she said, she did not want to be the first one in her family to be divorced. I also stayed because I did not want my 7 children to be raised without a father, she said. To add insult to the injury, the second wife lived in the same house as my mom for over 10 years. More than that, for the first time in her life, my mother was physically abused by my father. I was numb. I loved my husband, and I remembered the good years before he brought his 2 wives, she says. In most African countries like mine, physical and emotional abuse of women is an everyday phenomenon. It is also common practice for men to take more than one wife, and wife are expected to acknowledge and stay married. My mother fell victim to what she believed was the right thing to do culturally. As a devout Christian for 9 years, she was not allowed to attend church when the second wife moved in to share a house with her. She felt like she had no outlet. She prayed by herself because her friends were barred from visiting her home. Over time, she became a yes wife. She said yes to everything my father and his new wife asked of her. She cooked, cleaned, and even cared for the new children that were born in the second marriage. My counseling experience has taught me that my mother is not alone. Countless women are today leading lives that mirror that of my mother. Many are leading lives in fear, afraid of standing up against their inhuman treatment and unorthodox lifestyle. To free myself from the stronghold of how my father treated my mother and the astonishment over her accepting of the treatment, I had to find ways to lighten my baggage and free myself as well as my siblings. Talking to and sharing with my mother and siblings freed us from the pain we bore. It freed us from the fear that prevented us from trusting our significant others. As a family, minus our father, we realized we had allowed fear to rob us of the joys of relationships in our relationships, marriages, and work. We realized we had not reached our potential in our personal and professional lives because of the fear and painful memories we held dear to our hearts. As a result, we experienced fear of rejection, taking risks, fear of abandonment, fear of being taken advantage of, as well as fear of being hurt, physically and emotionally. My mother, who is now a U.S. citizen, now lives with her daughters as a free woman. Oh, how great it is to see her authentic self. She laughs more, attends church services, and is an avid businesswoman in Zimbabwe. The year 2010 was the first visit she made without our father. The first visit she freed herself and realized enough was enough. I believe for the first time, my mother had an opportunity to look at her life and realized she had not lived for herself in a long time. I believe she finally got the clarity and strength to let go of my father's stronghold and found her true self. As for me, my work has been thriving, my thinking is clearer, and my walk is bolder. For you, now is the time to take a look at your own luggage. Imagine yourself on your life's journey. See yourself with packed luggage or suitcases. Instead of clothes, in life we pack positive or negative experiences, emotions or feelings. Now let's check your luggage. Is your luggage running over with negativity of the past? Is it packed with everything you desire to have, the plans you have for your life? If you're carrying a lot of pain and regrets, check if there's a lock on your luggage that makes it heavier to pull and difficult to open. To find your true self, you will need to examine your luggage and remove the excess weight, the lock that has prevented you from letting go. Open it to ensure what's in it is what you need to keep. Although it will be uncomfortable and painful to look at your past, it frees you, making it easier for you to get to your prescribed destination. Only you have the power to free yourself. There comes a point in life when we have to come to terms with the fact that we stand a better chance to succeed when we look at life through the windscreen instead of the rearview mirror. It is time for us to come to grips with the fact that now is all that matters, not how we grew up, how our parents were treated, raised us, violated us, what happened to us in 10th grade, what little opportunity we've had, or what particular statistic we happen to unfortunately represent. Today is all that we have, not yesterday. Think about it. When you are free, you are able to say no and mean it. You are able to speak up for what you want and walk away from what you do not want. Being free of baggage means you are able to create a new, positive story. When you remove some of that baggage from your luggage, changes in everyday life becomes easier to bear, and the future becomes clearer. Promise yourself that you deserve the best. We all have made mistakes. We all have troubling past. Your past, however, should not stop you from making a commitment to know and acknowledge the real you. That is not negotiable. Use the following questions to sharpen your perception of who you are. Open your luggage. What have you been carrying? What do you need to adjust or do to be your true self? Tip: remember that it is never too late to create the life you desire. Assessing your situation, adjusting what needs to be done, and acting quickly to implement necessary changes is critical.